I'm going to give you the equation, but you have to know what the parts stand for. So right now I need your voices off because you're learning something new. We're only going to do one example. So you got to pay close attention for me on this one example. Let's talk about what the letters stand for when you're ready. We're talking about the amount and account. So A stands for the amount. P stands for the principal, which is the initial amount, or another way to say that is the starting amount. So that's the same thing. It's still out in front. P just stands for principal. We say it a little bit differently because we know we're for sure talking about money and not anything else. R stands for the rate, which is your percent as a decimal, just like Tuesday. N stands for the number of times per year. And T stands for time in years. I'll give you time to write this down. First thing, when you see an equation like this, or when you see a word problem and it says compounded blankly, write down the equation. So you deposit $100 in the account that earns 6% annual interest. That's great. You see a deal like this, invest. Compounded monthly. So we're using compound interest. Write a function that represents the balance after t years. What will the balance be after 8 years? Okay, one thing at a time. First thing, write down the equation. Like literally copy it down from what you have above. That way you have it right in front of you when you go to plug everything in. The principal, and then 1 plus the rate divided by the number of times per year, raise the number of times per year times the years. Write it down so you have it right in front of you. And then we're going to plug in what we know. We do not know the amount. We do know the principal, the starting amount. How much are we putting in this account? $100. That goes in front. We're going to do, because this is growth, it's always going to be growth when you have interest like this. 1 plus, okay. What is your rate right now is 6%. You cannot leave it like that. Take your decimal, move it 2 places to the left, or divide by 100. 6% is 0.06. So in your spot for R, you have to put 0.06. Do not put 6. So 0.06. That's how we got that, if you convert that. Divide it by the number of times per year. How many times does it happen per year if it happens monthly? Look at the chart if you can't figure it out. 12 months in a year. So that goes for N. It's being really slow. There we go. And then it's number of times per year, 12. For now, I want you to just put T. We're not going to evaluate it yet. I want you to be able to get the equation. Okay, that's the first thing. Plug everything in. Second thing, I need you to, in your calculator, you're going to type in this entire part. 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12. Type it in now. We're going to simplify this. 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 should get you a nice little decimal. $1.005. Yes? Okay. So we're going to take our equation, we're going to write it out. Keep everything the same, except instead of that in parentheses, write down what you just got. Raise it to 12 times t. Okay, if I ask you for the function, this is the function. Now, we'll evaluate it for 8 years. Where do I put the 8? T, time. T equals 8 because it's 8 years. So $100 times 1.005 raised to, okay, now we're going to figure out this. What is 12 times 8? 96. Okay, so right now we're figuring out, okay, this part is 96. So one last time, write it down for me, that finally, this is what you need to evaluate in your calculator. You take 1.005 and you raised it to 96. Evaluate for me after 8 years. So notice how we did it in like 3 steps.
Oh my gosh.
If you see this deal, you need to put some money in that account. Because 60 bucks interest is pretty dang good. So your total after 8 years should be $161. We're talking about money, so round it to the nearest cent. It says 0.41. Will you round up the 1?
No.
4 below, let it go. 0.41. So final answer, $161.41.